Let's go, let's go, let's go. It's Teach Me Tuesday, and I got a quote for you. This quote is a good quote that I found, and it says, "Don't wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate and wait." What's up, guys? My name is Wilmot Berry with the Berry Group, brokered by eXp Realty. And in this video, we're going to talk about the power of investing in real estate. So I'm going to let my team go ahead and introduce themselves as well.
Yeah, so
Ladies first.
LaShawn Abraham, LaShawn Abraham here with my husband Gavin Abraham. We're the Team Abraham duo part of our team. We're definitely excited to be with you guys today. We're located in Summerville, South Carolina, servicing all of the entire state, Georgia and North Carolina now. So we're happy to talk about this whole power of real estate investing.
Yeah, yeah. It's the same here. Very excited. Especially as being new investors ourselves. So it's been a topic at hand. Definitely people are out there wanting to figure out where they can put their money
Yeah.
to, whether it's trying to bring in more passive income or if they're trying to, just invest in their future. Just trying to figure out what is it about the real estate market that makes it such a powerful tool to use and to grow their financial wealth.
Yeah, I'm excited about talking about this because I do deal with a lot of investors. I do find that this is probably my niche in the market right now is dealing with investors. They're probably my number one client right now is I deal with a good bit of investors. Not sure why, but I do like dealing with them. I get to learn from some of the most savviest investors, and also some of the newcomers that come in and they want to, hey, flip a house. They want to buy a rental property. They want to do different things in the real estate market. And the cool thing about real estate and what we're going to talk about, the power of investing in real estate, is there are many different ways to make money in real estate.
That's good stuff. I really like that a lot. So let's just like without, prolonging our time because I feel like the 15
Mhm.
minutes goes by so
It
fast.
does. It
So when
does.
it comes to, real estate investment, so why is real estate investment such a powerful tool? Like when you compare it against like crypto or stocks or whether buying if you're buying a vehicle or something like that, why is investing in real estate one of those things that kind of, is definitely there's a return on the investment from the reward that you reap when you decide to invest in it. Why do you guys think that is?
If you mind me starting, I believe it's the stability of real estate, long term growth of real estate, also passive income in real estate. I mean, there's a lot of different things
Mhm.
that when you compare it to others, you mentioned crypto, and I have a passion for, don't get me wrong, for the financial market, stock market, crypto market, forex market. I got a passion for those markets. However, I do feel like, if you're going to get into trading, okay, in those markets, you really have to have a skill to do that. All right. So for those of the people that's out there that's saying, hey man, I really just want to put my money somewhere where it can grow long term or have some different ways to just pull money from the market, I feel like real estate gives you a good mix of different ways to create income.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree. And ultimately, I think it's just one of the most safer investments. I think real
Absolutely.
estate, um, in its own is, because of the scarcity of land and the scarcity of desirable areas that people want to live in. There's only a limited supply to get those. There's only a limited supply of beachfront properties. There's only a
Right.
limited supply of lakefront homes, um, or homes that are in the metropolitan city.
Right.
So because of that, that there's always going to be a desire for people to live there from whenever they were built until until something else happens, they get knocked down, destroyed, whatever. But there's always going to be a desire. So when there's a desire or a certain need, the value is going to continue to appreciate
Yeah.
regardless of what else may be going on in the world. Like I know stocks and crypto and those things, they're very um
Volatile.
volatile and and are
Mm-hmm.
manipulated based on a lot of different factors of what goes on in the world. But
Right.
unlike real estate, yes, can there be another crisis or bubble? Um, it can. Is it likely? It's less likely because we are more prepared and more the practices that have been put in place, are less likely to um, have that happen again in the future. But
Yeah, I mean, you brought up a really good point there. When it comes to, investing in real estate is one of those things where you don't have to have a ton of knowledge, like you kind of mentioned, Wilmot, to get started. You don't have to be an expert, right? You can kind of
Right.
stumble your way through and still end up coming out pretty good. Now, there may be
Right.
some errors, some learns along the way, but as far as losses and things like that is probably it's not as significant. If you were trying to just dive into crypto or dive into annuities and stocks and other things like that. So I think for those reasons, real estate is one of the safest, easiest, like you guys said, more stable way to kind of jump into the market to kind of test the waters and start building some type of portfolio. So switching gears just a little bit, let's go into number 2, which talks about rental properties, right? Because a lot of times that's a strategy a lot of investors like to take on as well. They may want to not necessarily flip a house right away, but they maybe want a portfolio of rental properties, right?
mhm.
Let's talk about that a little bit as far as the
Yeah,
stability in that and how you kind of get started, the pros and cons. What have you guys been seeing?
yeah. I mean, well, rental properties on its own, you have they're good for multiple purposes. We're talking about passive income, where you're those rental properties that are producing, income above and beyond what your monthly expense may be. Then you have that long term wealth, to where you're just holding those properties and building that wealth through the equity that you're constantly growing. Um, so yeah, I mean the pros and cons of doing those investments, because once you do make that investment, you become a landlord, and you got to figure out, well, what do I do? What am I responsible for? What do I have to do as a landlord? And I mean, there are definitely a lot of common mistakes that people make in regards to becoming landlords and not being ready. So you got when you become a landlord, you got to have tenants. Those are the people who are going to pay the money, who are going to provide
Yeah,
that passive
but I
income.
think one of the things like that we learned that we kind of stumbled into is, well, how are we going to find tenants, right?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
are we going to, use a
Mm.
property management company? Are we just going to, post on social media, put an ad out that we have, a property available to rent? So that's some of the things that you probably got to truly think about, like how will you attract tenants to, the properties that you own or that you
Yeah,
rent?
Right.
you got to remember legal obligations as far as being a um uh, a property owner. Setting those realistic prices for what you're going to set rent for. They're all kind of there, and you can't neglect the property. You got even though you're renting it out to somebody, ultimately you're responsible for the
Right.
the the maintenance on your own property, because that's what's going to attract other tenants. Once your existing lease may expire, then it's time to get another tenant in there. And if I just let somebody tear up my house or my property, it falls on you. So it's a lot of things to consider. So
One
yeah,
of the cool things, Gavin and LaShawn, is that, people are always going to need a place to stay.
That's true.
it's true.
That's one of the benefits of real estate, man. Like you gonna have to stay somewhere, right?
Hmm.
Whether you own it or whether you rent it,
That's true.
So you just gotta always remember that. I remember taking my daughter to school, right? She was like, "Well, Daddy, why does property cost so much, right?" And you're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars. I said, look over there. She said, what? I said, you see that dirt over there? She said, yeah. I said, well, they don't make no more of that. Right. They only God only made that one piece of dirt like that, so you can only buy that one, you can only buy that right there. So that just shows you that, the power of real estate, and that, hey, someone's always gonna need a place to stay. And one of the ways is investing in rentals. And Gavin and LaShawn, you said this earlier. You talk about, some people don't want to flip, they just want a rental, right? I heard this young lady say this. She said, you can get fast money with flips, or you can get forever money with rentals. I thought that was a
I like
cool
that.
twist on that because as long as you have a tenant in that property, they're going to always continue to pay you, hopefully, right?
Right.
You know, that's another thing. That's another story. So, but yeah, guys, I think that's just another way we can look at power of real estate with rentals.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned flipping. Let's talk about that. Have you seen more? I know you work with a lot of investors, Wilmot, but have you seen
Right.
more of your investors doing more of the long-term rentals or more of the flips or short-term, or is it kind of like an even mix?
You know what's so funny? It just depends on the stage of the investor, right? I find that newer investors do more flips. None against, and there's some experienced investors that are out there that are still doing flips. So I don't want that to come across as degrading to, but a lot of the newer investors, they want the fast money,
Mhm.
the big checks to come in quick, right? And then I see them kind of see how, like, all right, I got to deal with contractors. I got to deal with meeting deadlines. I got to deal with, issues with fixing a property up. If the property doesn't sell, then this and that. A lot of them, they grow out of that, right? And then they say, well, man, let's take this income that we have received from the flips and let's invest it into a bigger rental property like a multifamily commercial property that's continuously paying me cash flow every month instead of having to deal with the rigmarole of flipping. Not saying it can't be done,
Right.
but you really got to be on your P's and Q's and know your contractors, know your prices, know your ARV, which is your after repair value, and making sure that you're actually making money on these flips and not just, it just kind of coming back to you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
So
I
it
like
just
what
depends. Like I said, it just depends on the investor. Yeah.
Yeah, I like what you said there. I mean, I think you definitely probably come across or have investors out there who, they have it down packed. They like some of them are contractors themselves.
Right.
And it's a lot easier when you know what you're doing and you can cut costs on how to flip a home as opposed to somebody who has to go out and find people to give them quotes and estimates and they don't know how to do the work themselves. So
Right.
now, that can be a more, taxing on them and, kind of drive them to, what, maybe this isn't the best for me. I'm not getting the best,
Return on investment.
value
Hmm.
back out
Right.
of this process as opposed to, hey, let me focus on getting the more of the passive income to where I'm just, doing routine maintenance, managing that sort. And then you have the options of, outsourcing to a management company to where you just pretty much supply the property and you let them do all that back work as far as
Absolutely.
talking to your tenants, maintaining the residents, things of that sort. So it's opportunity out there depending on like you said what you're wanting and what you're wanting back from the investment
I
that
mean,
you
I
make.
think we came into that realization when we were, searching to find our, find and buy our first investment property. First, we thought we wanted to go the flip route because, oh, we can make a lump sum of money real quick in a couple months. Like this will be great. But then we realized that, I don't have no idea about contracting stuff and crawl spaces and plumbing. And that's not necessarily Gavin's expertise neither. We would definitely have to rely heavily on the people that we hired and then, I get a little cautious there. So to me, it was easier and safer to do a long term rental this time around. Maybe we'll, as we continue to build our knowledge in that space of renovations and repairs and things like that, really things to look for. I think that's something that we may definitely test the waters with in the future. But we found it to be much safe. So,
It's definitely a skill, guys. It's a skill. And
yeah.
I almost didn't say that word, but it's a skill and you need to master that skill before you take part in going the flip route or have a mentor that is doing it and that has mastered the skill and you can partner with him. So that might be a good
That's great advice.
strategy. Yeah. So
Yeah, that's really, really good advice. So before we wrap up for today, and like I said, that 15 minutes goes by so
oh
quick. It
man,
went
it
by
sure
so
did.
quick.
Jeez.
Last thing we're going to just kind of touch on really quick is just, people always ask the question, is it the right time to buy? Is it the right time to invest in real estate? How do you know, the best market conditions to really kind of go with? And at the end of the day, like my response to that will always be, it's almost like double dutch. You just got to jump in there, right? You just got to jump in there and just do it and kind of learn your way through, cautiously, because the market is going to forever change. I think definitely trying to buy low and sell high is always, I think, people's number one goal when they're trying to invest in real estate. And sometimes you just got to make sure that, the numbers match. So our recommendation will always be, get with a great real estate agent that knows the market. Definitely get with, local lenders and things like that as well, so that, you can get pre-approved. You can kind of see what your buying power is, so that when you need to attack and be aggressive in the market, you already have all that stuff out the way and you can just kind of jump in there. You can definitely shop around for rates and things like that to make sure you're getting, the best deal, and do it in air quotes, right? But just make sure that you're just informing yourself as much as you can, asking the right questions, and getting with the right professionals to kind of assist you along the way. Do you guys have anything else you guys want to add to that as a last comment to this whole real estate investing?
No, it's a lot more stuff we could have talked about, but guys, we only hit on here for 15 minutes. But if you are aspiring to be an investor, or if you are an experienced investor and you need maybe some off-market stuff or whatever, that maybe some people might not be willing to list their property on the market. Sometimes I do rent and stuff like that. But reach out to me. My name is Wilmot Berry. My email is wilmot@theberrygroupre.com. That's wilmot@theberrygroupre.com. Or just shoot me a Facebook message in Messenger, and I'll be more than happy to kind of talk to you about, your investment needs.
Yeah, man, I absolutely love that. Definitely hit Wilmot up. He definitely knows what he's talking about. He definitely understands this space very well. And likewise, if you guys ever need any lending, it's Team Abraham Lending. Go to teamabrahamlending.com. You can grab my information or Gavin's information, and we're more than happy to help and talk you guys through any financial strategies as well. So until next time, guys, we will see you guys next week. We hope you guys have a great rest of your week.
No. Peace.